Hey, what's up, GoHighLevelers, and welcome back to another tutorial. In this video, we're going to set up a services calendar system for a dog grooming business. Now, let's take a quick look at this example here where I have the structure of the dog grooming business. We have a couple of stalls where the dogs would be treated, and then we would have some staff members and then offering services like wash and cut and nail trimming. And then we would have some inventory like shampoo and nail trimmer, which would be used to fulfill these services. So keeping the structure in mind, our goal is to create a seamless services calendar system where a customer can go and book the service without having to go through a reception or a front desk. So let's jump into GoHighLevel and go through the configuration. All right, so I'm inside my GoHighLevel sub account. The first thing we're going to do is head over to settings, and then under my staff, we will set up our staff members. So let's click on add employee here, then add in their information. This is where they will get the login for the system. Then we're going to head down under user roles. We can choose to make them a user. If you also need to edit some permissions for them, you can do so here. And then we're going to head over to user availability. Now, this is one of the most important settings where you have to select the shift timings for your staff member. So make sure these are accurate because this would reflect in the calendar when the customers are booking a time for the service. So let's say for this person, I'm going to select 9 a.m. through 3 p.m. for all the weekdays. So I'm going to copy this to all and it would automatically apply to all the days. And then we're going to go ahead and save. And our first staff member is now added to the system. In a similar way, I've added our second staff member. Then I'm going to choose their role as the user here. And then for the user availability, we can choose a different timing just so we can see later on how that plays out in the calendar. So for this staff member, let's do 11 a.m. through 6 p.m. and then we copy this to all the days. And once that is done, we're going to go ahead and save. And both the staff members for our business are now added. Now, the next thing we're going to do is head over to calendars here on the left side. And then we're going to add in our inventory as per this structure. So we have shampoo and nail trimmer. So in order to do that, we'll head over to equipments here and then click on add new equipment. Now, the first one is going to be shampoo, and then for the quantity, we can add 10. Out of service quantity can be 2 for this, and then let's hit create. And in a similar way, we will create one more, and this one is going to be the nail trimmer. You can add in the quantity here, out of service quantity, and then let's hit create. And now we have the inventory added as per the structure that we created. Now, the next thing we're going to add is the stalls or the rooms. So as we have 2 here, we'll head back to GoHighLevel. Click on rooms here and then click on add new room. We can call the first one stall 1, and let's say we only want to dedicate this to wash and haircuts. We can type that here, and for the total capacity, I'll just add 1 for now, that only 1 dog can be accommodated on the stall at one time. And let's go ahead and click create. In a similar way, we'll create one more room and call this stall 2. And this would only be used for nail trimming. And then for the capacity, let's do 1 for this as well and click create. So now if I go back, we have the inventory set up, we have the staff members set up, as well as the stalls of the rooms. So the only thing we are left with now are the service calendars. So let's go back here and let's set up the calendars. So I'll click here, and then I'm going to click on the new calendar button here. We will choose the service calendar. So the first one we have here is wash and cut. So I'm going to add in the name, then add in a description here. And then for the staff member, I'm going to choose Trish and Bianca both. So let's do that here. Then let's add in a URL, add in the service duration. So let's say if it takes 15 minutes, you can add that here. And this is the booking availability for the service. You can customize it if you need to. So I'm going to do 9 a.m. through 6 p.m. for this service. Once that is done, before we hit confirm, we're going to click on advanced settings to go through a few more items that we have to customize. So under service details, we already added the service name and description. We do not have a group setup yet, which we can do later on. And then we have the URL and some customization that we can do here. And then under availability, we have some more options like adding in a preferred time, minimum scheduling notice, we can do 1 day. And then if you want to allow a date range of 14 days that only a customer can book a date within the next 14 days, you can do that here. And then under forms and payments, you can customize the forms or the payments thing. And then under notifications and additional options, we're going to enable notifications for the contact as well as the assigned staff. So when an appointment is booked, both of them can get a notification. Then under customizations, I'm going to upload an image here just so we can make our calendar a bit more professional. And then I'm going to head over to rooms and equipment, and we will select stall 1 because that is dedicated for this kind of service. And for the equipments, we're going to select shampoo as that would be used in washing the dog. So with all these settings selected, we're going to go ahead and click on save. And our first service calendar is now ready. Now, in a similar way, we're going to create the second service calendar, which is for nail trimming. So let's head back. Instead of creating a new one, we can duplicate the existing one and then change the name and the other bits. So let's go ahead and click on duplicate here. So the first thing we'll change here is the name. So let's do nail trimming here. And then for the description, we can change that as well. And the group we will map later on. Everything else, let's keep it the same way. And then I'm going to head straight to customizations and remove the existing image. And let's replace that with the new one. So I have just uploaded the new one here. Once that's good, we're going to head over to rooms and equipments. And for this one, we're going to use stall 2, which is for nail trimming. And for the equipments, we're going to use nail trimmer as the inventory. And then we're going to go ahead and click on save. So now we have both the services calendars set up. Now at this point, if you want to share your calendars with the customer or you want to embed that on the website, all you have to do is click on these 3 dots, then click on share. And then you can either copy the scheduling link or the permanent link. And then you also have an embed code or one-time link that you can use. But let's say you want to group these services together and then you want to show them at once or give the people an option to choose either of the two. So for that, we will have to create a group. So let's head here and I'm going to create a new calendar group. I'm going to call it dog grooming, and then you can also add a description here, then add in a URL, and we'll go ahead and click create. Now, once the group is created, we have to map it with the existing calendars. Now I'm going to click here on the 3 dots, then move it to a group. And from the drop down, we're going to select the dog grooming one and hit select. And once that is done, you'll see that nail trimming service calendar is now grouped under the dog grooming one. In a similar way, we're going to group the other one too. So let's move that to the group. We'll follow the same procedure and then hit select. And then we're pretty much done with this as well. Now, if we head over to the groups, we'll see that if we click on the 3 dots, it gives us a permanent or a scheduling link. And if I open that here, it will show you both the services calendar together here. And you can see the images look really professional here. We have the service calendar names, the descriptions, as well as the duration. Now, if somebody wants to book a service from here, they can click that and then select a staff member or select any staff available. And then it gives the timings the customers can select and easily make an appointment. Now, there's one more thing we can do that will take things to the next level. So if I go back here, there's an option of a service menu. So basically what a service menu does is it gives you an option to group multiple groups together. So let's say you have one group which is for dog grooming. You add in a couple of more and they have further service calendars down the road. You can basically group all of them together and add them to a menu, and then maybe you can embed to the website. And one more thing the service menu does really well is it allows you to book multiple services at the same time. And then it also gives you the ability to add guests in the same booking, which is pretty awesome. So let's see how we can do that and we'll see how that plays out. So I'm going to click on add new service menu here. And then we'll add in the name, the description, and the URL here. We can also change the form here if we need to. And then I'm going to scroll down to additional options. Now, this is where things get really interesting because now you have an option to enable or disable guests. You can also do multiple service selection and then enable or disable staff selection as well. So this is where we can take things to the next level. You can play around with it depending on what kind of settings do you want. And once you're happy with that, you can go ahead and click on select services. Now, this is where you select the group as well as the services. And if you have multiple ones, of course, that is where the service menu can really help you. Since we only have these for now, I'm just going to click select all and then arrange your services is really when you have multiple groups, and then you can change the order in which they will appear. So once we're happy with these settings, I'm going to go ahead and click on save. And once it is saved, let's click on the 3 dots here, copy the link, and I'm going to open it here. Now you will see that this is how it previews like. So if we go back to the group one, we will see that it basically comes up as this, where you have both the services, but it won't let you to book multiple services once. But if you go back to the service menu, this is where you can book multiple services as we had that option enabled. So let's say if I select nail trimming and I also want to add another service, I can also choose to add that. And here you can see that I have multiple services selected. So this is great. If you offer multiple services, this can really help you and save time to the customers, and they can make a collective booking for the services they are interested in. So now I'm back and I want to show you one more quick aspect about this system that we have created. So let's say if I want to book the nail trimming service, if I click book here, I can choose to add guests if I need to, but for now I'm going to click on continue here. And now I get the option to select a staff here, which is enabled in our service menu. So let's do that here. Now let's say if I want to move forward with Trisha here. So let me hit confirm here. And I want to show you how the availability will be affected based on the staff member. So if you remember for Trisha, she works different timings. So she starts at 9 a.m. through 3 p.m. Now, if I go here for any given day, those are the only timings that I can book into. But let's say if we were to change that, if I go back here and select Bianca here, who works from 11 a.m. through 6 p.m. So if I hit confirm now, we will see that the availability has changed. So the first slot we get is 11 a.m. and it goes all the way up to 5:45. And the last one would be 15 minutes. So that finishes at 6 p.m. So that is how the staff's shift timings would come into play in the calendar as well. And if we were to go back and just choose any staff available, it will give you all the options from 9 a.m. all the way through to 5:45, because now based on the timing we select, the calendar system will automatically assign the relevant staff member that is available at the time we selected. Now you can easily embed this service menu on your website and share a link with your customers as well. And this system will help you automate a lot of processes and make the booking experience hassle-free for your customers. All right, so that was all about this video. I hope you liked it. And again, if you want to replicate this for any kind of business out there, you can easily do that because the process is always the same. And this will really help any kind of business really to automate their booking process and make it really easy for their customers to book any kind of services they offer.